Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm gonna teach you how to beat the Gardrone raids 100% of the time. So I have exactly 7 builds here that I'll go through each of them one by one, but before we get into that, I'll just tell you which raid we're doing. So pretty much we're always going to be doing the Nightmare Ice Gardrone. Since it's the easiest one, these two are a little bit more difficult. And now first I'll go into the raid builds, and then I'll teach you what builds to use if you're like a newer player to the game and you don't exactly have access to all these items and move manuals. So let's just get started on the builds. You pretty much always want a square 1 user. Here I have Dyeborg with a handy plus square 1. I also have Far Enchantment and Hop Kick that can help in the raid. Hypnotize is optional if Gardrone hasn't been statused yet, but you generally don't need it. And then, yeah, this is the TPs if you're curious about that. You can just copy them if you're going to use a Dyeborg. And if you don't have the secret ability for this, you can opt to use Tank instead, since you'll get similar value, although you won't be able to get square 1 up first. But Tank will allow you to at least live a hit before getting square 1 off, so just keep that in mind. Now we're going to go into the other 6 Loomians. Now importantly, you always need to bring a square 1 user, but for the other 2, you have a lot more variety, basically. So in the description, I will show you 3 different pairings that I did for this video. And let me just see which ones they were. So the first one was Billoforge plus Ikazune. This is the Heatwave duo. So Billoforge is here to set up Heat Summon and then collect Kindled Rage. And because we're slower, it's going to be doing double damage. And plus Heatwave and the 4x weakness from the Ice Gardrone, this will be doing upwards of 140 damage plus stab plus heat wave. It's enough to take out 1 Gardrone bar from practice. And here are the TPs if you're curious. It's a lot of bulk, but we did put a bit into melee. You actually don't even need to put too much into health. I'll just put, yeah, is this enough? You can actually just max out your melee attack just to ensure you can get rid of 1 bar each time, assuming you got hit by a move. So next one, Ikazune, Fire Essence. There's a lot of stuff you could run here. You could even run Flame Shell if you can't afford Fire Essence. Flame Shell might even be better. And Robust, you don't need to run this. Pure Smart's probably better. However, I'm just running Pure Robust because I don't want to level up my Mecha Ikazunes. And Raging Fire is probably the better ability. It doesn't matter here just because it's the Ice Gardrone. And here we have 200 health, 200 range attack, 88 range defense, and 12 energy. So this is the Heatwave duo. And now the next one, I believe, is the Brawler duo. Or not necessarily Brawler duo because there's Wresolen, but it's another option, basically. Sumobito, you can afford this a lot more easily, or get access to it a lot more easily, since you just need to get the Worn Rope to evolve a Propay, and then you can also just put on Very Brawny. You get a good ability with Guru, and these moves you don't even need to necessarily rally them. I believe Fire Slam is the only one that needs to be rallied, and you don't even need Fire Slam. Actually no, Fire Slam's just a level 50 move. But yeah, none of these moves here are actually rally moves at all. However, you just need to get Sumobito to level 39 to get access to Horn Dashi. And then you can have access to all 4 of these moves. And here we have Banokey. This is locked behind Sweet Retreat. Or Trick Retreat, technically. So you don't necessarily need Banokey, but it is good for the raid. I have Fear and Nimble, that's optional. You could also just run Brawny. And then I have Health Amulet for survivability. The ability doesn't really matter here because Berserk means you can't use Preemptive Strike. If you do want to run Berserk, you can't run your item. So that's why I don't have Berserk. Here I just have dodge, brawn boost, preemptive strike, banana slam. Preemptive strike's just good utility. Brawn boost allows banana slam to do a ton of damage. And dodge is here to get health amulet recovery. And then here are the TPs if you need it. So our last duo is the Vari duo, because these are both Vari evolutions. First we'll go into the more optimal one here, Wresolen. Here I'm just running Nimble, Milkshake to outspeed Gardrone, but it's also because I don't have a PvP Wresolen. Like, that is secret ability. So the secret ability is the best option. However, if you can't afford to get the secret ability, I would just run Ignorant instead, since it ignores Gardrone's stat boost. And then you could also just run Adaptive Assault, Pep Jab, Buck Up. The only two you really need is Adaptive Assault, Buck Up. Pep Jab's also an option if you want more energy. And then Blaze Punch is just there for an alternative damage source. You really don't need Blaze Punch here. So, and then we have Pyrolen. This is probably one of the most popular sets, but you don't need to run Nimble. Only reason I have Nimble is so that I don't need to run Speed Investment to outspeed Gardrone, who its speed is 95, I think, no, 94. Which is why I trained the Pyrolen to outspeed Cephalops. And then I have Health Amulet just for health recovery. I have Flare Blast, Mudslide, Rejuvenate, Peace of Mind. You don't need Mudslide here, you can't really use it. You could actually just drop Mudslide for Fire Breath if you're not pairing this with Heat Wave. And here are the TPs. 200 range defense, 200 health, 88 range attack. You don't even need the 8 melee attack here. Just put that to range attack. And then, yeah, these are all 6 of the raid builds that I have, or all 7 technically. And I believe I already showed the Cephalops, but this is the Cephalops. Nimble, this is the moveset, and then these are the TPs. And yeah. If you want proof that these builds do work, I have the links in the description to show, like, if you use these properly, you should be able to win a raid in 4 to 6 minutes. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.